What one fruit is a source of clothing, housing, containers, oil, rope, and food and brick? You'll find out as one of these three contestants wins the chance to drive home in this brand new Pontiac Grand Am in just a split second. And now, here's the star of our show, Monty Hall.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to our show. Welcome, everybody, to Split Second. Hope you have a wonderful time today, watching all these wonderful contestants answering questions and matching your wits against theirs. Oh, incidentally, did you answer the first question on the show that was meant for you alone? The fruit that's used for everything from housing to clothes and whatnot and food is the coconut. That's true, and that's a very interesting thing because you can use the coconut milk and the coconut pulp inside for food, and the shells. It really is a most remarkable fruit, so mark that down for your information. And for our information, who are our brand new three contestants today?
Well, Monty, first, a lady who works very hard for the welfare of animals, Stephanie Brown. And then a man who has only one signature in his autograph collection, meet Kwame Edo. And on your right, a lady who doesn't want anything from either column A or column B, Teresa Schechter.
On our program, we like to find out things about our contestants. We'll start with Stephanie and then meet the others later. And Stephanie, you are into preserving animals, looking after them?
Yes, I'm into animal welfare, specifically the use of animals in research, Monty.
Oh, yes. That's quite a controversial point these days.
It is.
And I have a little dog at home. My dogs live forever.
That's good. You take good care of them.
This one is 14 years old. The
Terrific.
last one was 14 years old.
You're a good owner, a responsible owner.
Well, here's the arrangement I have. When I come home, I don't talk to him. He doesn't talk to me. He runs the house while I'm away, and that's the way it is.
That's good.
Nice to meet you, Stephanie. We'll learn more about you as the show goes on and the other contestants as well. Now, here's the way we play our game. As you know, there are three answers to every question, but our contestants just have to answer one apiece in the first two rounds. If all three of you give me correct answer, it's worth $10 apiece. If only two of you come up with an answer, it's $25. If only one answers the question in the round, it's worth $50 to that person alone. Are you ready to go? Get your fingers poised on the buttons. The one who buzzes in first answers first. And remember, you can't buzz in until you see all the questions on the screen. Otherwise, a lockout device will make you go third. So here we go with our first question. Are you ready, Stephanie, Kwame, Teresa?
Yes.
Is it Teresa or Therese?
Teresa.
Good. The public broadcasting system, PBS, has done so many animal shows on TV that by now I think we should know the answers to these questions. So pick one and name the animal. Look at the screen. Which is the largest animal on land or sea, the tallest animal on land, and the fastest animal in the shortest distance? Kwame.
The largest animal is a blue whale.
That is correct. Teresa.
Tallest animal on land is giraffe.
Right. And Stephanie? The fastest animal in a short distance is?
Cheetah.
Good for you. Yes, the cheetah. That's a great start when all three of you score and all three of you get $10 each. Within a week in late November and early December 1986, three famous theatrical personalities passed away. Here are a few facts about them. Pick one and name him. Look at the screen. The band leader of the musical Nights, the Cuban-born TV star, and the man whose name was originally Archibald Leach. Kwame.
Originally Archibald Leach would be Cary Grant.
Yes, it was, and a sad loss and a dear friend of mine. Teresa.
Cuban-born TV star is Desi Arnaz.
That is also an old friend of mine, too. And Stephanie?
I don't know.
The band leader was Horace Heidt of the musical Nights. Horace Heidt and the musical Nights. So Kwame and Teresa get $25 each in that round. Here's a list of three things that most of us have in our kitchens. Pick one and tell me what it is. Look at the screen. There's a trencher, a salver, and a cauldron. Kwame.
Cauldron is like a pot.
Yes, a large pot is correct. Teresa.
A salver is a colander.
No, it is not. Stephanie.
A salver is a plate, a big serving plate, tray.
A serving tray. Very good, yes. And a trencher is a cutting board or a cutting dish. So we get Stephanie and Kwame getting $25 apiece. And Kwame's in money. Like all sports fans, the New Yorkers and New Jerseyites root for their local teams. Here are three of those teams. You tell me the sport they play. Look at the screen. The Mets, the Nets, the Jets. You bet. Teresa.
The New York Mets play baseball.
They sure do. Kwame.
The Nets play basketball.
Right. And Stephanie, what do the Jets play?
Football.
Of course they do. And that means you get $10 each. I will give you some interesting facts about three capital cities in the world. Pick one and name the capital. Look at the screen. What's the capital of Liberia, New Zealand, and Hong Kong? Kwame.
Liberia would be Tripoli.
I'm sorry, that's not right. You were thinking of Libya, I think.
Yeah.
Teresa.
New Zealand is Wellington.
That is correct. Stephanie?
I don't know.
Liberia-
Hong Kong? Named after a queen.
Named after Queen. Victoria was the answer to that one. Victoria. And Liberia was named after the U.S. president, was Monrovia, after James Monroe. So we have only one right answer. That's Teresa. She gets $50, moves into the lead. You seldom come across words that start with the letter Q. Even in Scrabble, you could use these. Here are 3 Q words. Pick one and tell me what type of food it describes. Look at the screen. The quince, the quahog, and the quenelle. Teresa.
The quince is a fruit.
Um,
Correct. Kwame.
The quahog is an animal.
No, it's not. Stephanie.
The quahog is an animal?
No, he just said that.
Oh.
That's where you heard it. I'm sorry, time is up. The quahog is a clam, and the quenelle is a dumpling. So once again, Teresa scores the entire 50 and has taken a very big lead. Donnie, Marie, and Jimmy Osmond have all had top 40 hits on their own. I'll give you 3 titles of Osmond hits. You pick one and tell me if it was Donnie, or Marie, or Jimmy, or all of them, or none of them. Take a look at the screen. Who made the hit Paper Roses, Puppy Love, and Go Away Little Girl? Kwame.
Paper Roses was Marie Osmond.
That's right, Teresa.
Puppy Love was Donny Osmond.
And Stephanie.
Go Away Little Girl was Donnie?
That's right. You weren't fooled by that. You went for Donnie both times, and you're right. Jimmy wasn't on that list. Score right now, Teresa 155, Kwame 80, Stephanie 55. Europeans think of Americans as social folks who like to join clubs, and that's true. So here are some facts about our clubs of all types. Pick one and name the club. Look at the screen. The name of Harvard's Dramatic Society, the Show Business Club that helps children, and the BPOE. And Teresa, you're first.
Harvard's Dramatic Society is the Hasty Pudding Club.
That's right. Kwame.
The Show Business Club that helps children, Variety.
That is correct, and I'm glad you said it. I'll tell you why in a minute. Stephanie.
That was the one I knew. I don't know the last one.
Well, the last one is the Brotherhood of Fraternal Order of the Elks. And Kwame, the reason I was so glad was I happen to be the international chairman of the Variety Club. And if you'd have missed that, I'd have been heartbroken. Kwame and Teresa score points. 1970 saw the death of 3 major European political leaders. I'll tell you a bit about them, and you name the leaders. Look at the screen. Remember the year 1970. Dictator of Portugal, that led the Free French in World War II, and the President of Egypt. Kwame.
President of Egypt, Anwar Sadat.
No, that's why I reiterated. 1970.
Oh.
And Teresa.
Led Free French in World War II is Charles de Gaulle.
That is correct. And Stephanie.
The president of Egypt is Nasser?
That was Nasser. And dictator of Portugal was Salazar. So the 2 girls score $25 each, Stephanie and Teresa. When you hear the term tote board, you know it's associated with horse or dog racing. Here are 3 other sports terms. Pick one, name the sport it's associated with. They are clay pigeon, iron mike, and clay court. Name the sport, Stephanie.
Clay pigeon is shooting?
That's right. Kwame.
Clay court would be tennis.
That's right. And Teresa. Iron mike.
Iron Mike is fencing.
No, it's a baseball. That's the pitching machine. That's that artificial pitching machine that just keeps throwing balls all the time during practice. And having scored for Kwame and Stephanie, we take a look at the end of the first round. Teresa with $205 in the lead. Kwame with 130 a second. Stephanie 105 third. And we double the stakes in our next round coming right up. We'd like to talk to our contestants on the show. We've already talked to Stephanie. Now, Kwame, when introduced, said that you only have 1 autograph in your autograph album. Is that's have you just started, or do you want more than one?
I'm not usually an autograph hound, but when I was in Boston a couple of years ago for my friend's wedding, we had just been out in the town, and his last night of bachelorhood. Anyway, we were walking back to the hotel, and there was this big stretch limousine in front of the hotel. And who should walk out but Robert Parrish.
Of the Boston Celtics.
Of the Boston Celtics. And I had maybe 1 or 2 drinks, and I was a little bit uninhibited, and I yelled like across the street, Robert Parrish, and he was taken aback. I ran up to him, shook his hand, and we started talking. I asked him where Larry was, Larry Bird, and he was very nice about it. But that was my one and only time.
After the show, maybe we can make it 2.
Okay.
Only if you ask. And Teresa, I didn't understand you don't want anything column A or column B. What does that mean?
I have a problem with Chinese food since I visited mainland China.
You didn't like the food there?
My friends and I lived on rice and arrowroot cookies for 2 weeks because we couldn't eat anything else they gave us.
Really?
Yeah.
Then the idea is to eat Chinese food in America and don't eat it in China.
Or Hong Kong.
Yeah,
it's okay, but not right in mainland China.
What I've always said, Chinese don't know how to make Chinese
That's
food.
right.
Teresa, Kwame, and Stephanie, we go into second round, and this time we double the stakes. Now, when one person has the right answer alone, it's going to be worth $100. If two people have it, it's $50. If three people all score right, it's $20. You're going for money, but you want that advantage going into the countdown round. It's a handicap race, and the one who leads at the end of this round will have the edge in the handicap race going for the car. So here we go for round number 2. It's rhyme time, and I'm looking for 3 words that rhyme with mill. Pick one of these 3 definitions. Give me the word that rhymes with mill. Take a look at the screen. And there are your 3 clues. They all rhyme with mill. Kwame.
An apparatus for making alcohol, a still.
Yeah, and that's where you had a couple of drinks from Boston. Teresa.
Respiratory organ is a gill.
That's correct. And Stephanie?
The base of a window is a sill.
Still. And you're all 3 right. So we give you $20 apiece. They say that birds of a feather flock together. So here are 3 flocks of birds. Pick one group. Tell me what type of bird it names. A type of bird. California Gamble Bob White is a type. Mallard, Widgeon, and Teal is a type. And so is Canada and Branton Blue. Kwame.
Mallard, widgeon, and teal would be ducks.
That's correct. Teresa.
Canada, Brant, and Blue are geese.
Right. And Stephanie? What is California Gamble and a Bob White? What kind of a bird?
Little
Little
partridge type birds.
quail. Quail. Close, but no cigar. All right. Teresa and Kwame get $50 each. Within recent years, headlines were made when these assassination attempts on major world figures failed. Here are the names of the would-be assassins. Pick one and name their world-famous targets. Look at the screen. Mehmet Ali, John Hinckley, and Lynette from Answer More both. Who were their targets? Stephanie.
John Hinckley, Reagan.
Correct. Kwame.
Lynette Fromm and Sarah Moore would be Gerald Ford.
Yes, they both shot at him. Teresa.
Mehmet Ali is Pope John Paul II.
You're absolutely right. All 3 of you are correct. You can get $20 apiece. If something is described as audible, that means you can hear it. Now, if things are described by these 3 words, what can you do with these things? Look at the screen. Comestible, potable, and palpable. Kwame.
Palpable is it's edible. You can eat
What was the one?
Palpable?
Palpable? No, you can't
Oh.
eat it. Teresa.
Comestible is edible.
That's right. And Stephanie?
Potable is drinkable.
That's right. And palpable is touchable. You can touch it. So the 2 girls score $50 apiece. Take a look at the score. Teresa's in the lead with 345. Kwame 220. Stephanie 195. We say Rome, but the Italians say Roma. I'll give you 3 other Italian names for Italian cities. Pick one and tell me what we call it in English. Look at the screen. Firenze, Napoli, and Torino. And Kwame's first.
Napoli would be Naples.
Correct. Teresa.
Firenze is Florence.
That's right. Stephanie?
Torino,
You just flip when I tell you it's Turin. Just almost the way it looks. And Kwame and Teresa get $50 each. We go to birthstones. According to the World Book Encyclopedia, the garnet is the birthstone for the month of January. Here are 3 birthstones for different months accepted by most jewelers. Name the month. Look at the screen. Sapphire, topaz, and ruby. Kwame?
Sapphire would be September.
Correct. Teresa?
Ruby is July.
Yes. And Stephanie? They always leave you with the tough one,
I
don't
always
they?
do.
Topaz is what month?
June.
No, November. I'm sorry. Kwame, Teresa, $50 more. And return to music. Instead of making up a name, several musical groups just use a combination of their real names, like Ashford and Simpson. I'll give you part of the names of 3 other groups. Pick one and complete it. Look at the screen. Emerson, Lake, and Watt. Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Watt. Loggins, and Watt. Kwame's in first again.
Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
Good. Teresa.
Loggins and Messina.
Right? And here we go with Stephanie.
Oh, no.
Hamilton, Joe Frank, and...
Don't know.
Reynolds is the answer to that one. And again, Kwame and Teresa are pulling away and have a big score with $50 apiece. 495 and 370. We only have 195. Rich folks usually like to keep their names out of the papers, but here are facts about 3 multi-millionaires who are always in the news. Name these rich men. Look at the screen. One headed Standard Oil, J.D. One had a museum named after him, J.P., and bought U.S. Steel from Carnegie, also a J.P. Kwame, you're first.
Oil company and museum named after him, J.P. Getty.
Correct. Stephanie.
Standard Oil, J.P. Morgan. No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That is your guess, and we have to accept it. Teresa.
Bought U.S. Steel from Carnegie, J.P. Morgan.
Yes, and the head of Standard Oil was J.D. Rockefeller. And Kwame and Teresa scored $50 apiece at the end of the round. We take a look, and Teresa ends with $545. We'll have the advantage of the countdown round. Kwame will be second, Stephanie third. We'll be right back for the exciting countdown round. Right after. Well, this is the countdown round, which determines who goes for the car. As you know, the questions are just as before, but with this little change. Whenever you buzz in now, you can give me 1, 2, or all 3 answers to the question. That enables somebody to really make a comeback in this handicap race. Each time you give a correct answer, you count down one number. The first to 0 will win. Now you want to know how many you have to answer. Well, Teresa, you're in the lead with money, so you only have to answer 4 questions. Kwame, you're second. You'll have to answer 5 to win the game. And Stephanie, you'll have to answer 6 before the others answer theirs to win the game. But it can be done, and it has been done. So if you're ready, here we go. We're going to determine who goes for the car. Pilots have always made headlines for special feats of bravery. Here are some facts about 3 such pilots. Name them. Look at the screen. The first man to fly solo around the world, the U-2 pilot shot down, and a daring pilot known as Wrong Way. Kwame, you're in.
The first man to fly solo around the world would be Charles Lindbergh.
No, that's not right. Teresa, you're next.
U-2 pilot shot down by Russians is Gary Powers.
That's right. You may continue.
First man to fly solo around the world is Chuck Yeager.
No, that's not right. Stephanie, here's your chance. Either one of them, or both. Who was Wrong Way? Wrong Way Corrigan. You've forgotten the Wrong Way Corrigan. He flew to Ireland against the law, said, I really was going the other way, and I ended up in Ireland. It's a cute story. And the first man to fly solo around the world, it's not that funny. It wasn't to him when they caught him. First man to fly solo around the world was Wiley Post. And so take a look at the scores. Stephanie 6, Kwame 5, Teresa 3. Israel is a small nation that was founded in 1948. Prior to that, it had been in existence for hundreds of years. Here are 3 questions about Israel. Answer them. Look at the screen. Who was the first king of ancient Israel? The first president of modern Israel and the first prime minister of modern Israel? Teresa.
The first king of ancient Israel was Saul.
You may continue.
The first president of modern Israel was David Ben-Gurion.
No, I'm sorry. The first president was not. Kwame.
The first president was... I don't know.
Sorry, Stephanie?
I don't know.
Well, you had Ben-Gurion in the wrong place. Ben-Gurion is the first prime minister. The first president was Chaim Weizmann. And so the score is still 6-5, and Teresa just needs 2. Brush up your Shakespeare. A number of hit Broadway musicals were based on plays by William Shakespeare. I'll name 3 musicals. You name the Shakespearean plays they were based on. Look at the screen. West Side Story, Kiss Me Kate, The Boys from Syracuse. Kwame.
West Side Story, Romeo and Juliet.
Continue.
Kiss Me Kate, Taming of the Shrew.
That's right. You got it in time. And how about The Boys from Syracuse?
Boys from Syracuse,
Teresa, can you give it to me?
Boys from Syracuse is Two Gentlemen of Verona.
No, Stephanie?
Merchant of Venice.
No, the answer was The Comedy of Errors. The score is 2 for Teresa. Kwame needs 3. Stephanie still needs 6. The settings for many movies are important to the story and plot. So tell me in what cities these movies take place. Look at the screen. In what city? Cabaret, The Third Man, The French Connection. Kwame, you need 3.
French Connection, Paris.
No, I'm sorry. Teresa.
Cabaret is Berlin.
You need 1 more to win the game.
The Third Man is Vienna.
You got yourself a win. The French Connection was New York City. New York City. They brought it in. Gene Hackman chased them all through New York City. So I want to thank you. Great show today. Great contestants. And Teresa, you picked up, let me see, Stephanie picked up $195. Kwame, $420 and a possible autograph. And Teresa, you come with me and see if we can win the car on today's show. Well, Teresa, we got a brand new car for you to win, and Sandy will describe it for us.
Buddy, it's the sporty Pontiac Grand Am, equipped with all the Grand Am's standard features like the fuel-injected 4-cylinder engine, cruise control, and AM/FM stereo cassette player, plus air conditioning.
All right, this is the car you're going for, and here's the way we play the game. On the first day, we show you that we have 5 split-second windows back there, and behind 3 of those windows, it says car. Behind the other 2 is a vacation. You take 3 choices, and if you hit the 3, the car is yours. If not, you will get the vacation and a choice to make. So please think about the 3 you'd like to choose and call one out for me.
Number 2.
Number 2, turn it around and hope that number 2 says car, and number 2 says car. You're on your way. Next one?
Number 1.
Number 1, turn 1 around, see what that says. Number 1 says car, and now we just need 1 more, and we've got 3 left. Which one do you choose?
Okay, number 3.
Come on, number 3, are you there? Number 3, car? No, it's vacation. Where was the car? Take a look and see where 4 and 5. The car was behind number 5. 1, 2, and 5 were the lucky ones for today. However, you do win the vacation, and this is the vacation you're going to win. Listen to this.
We're going to fly you and a companion to Paris, France, where you'll stay at a first-class hotel, and from there, visit all of Paris's famous landmarks, from the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre. Therese, bon voyage!
Now comes the important decision. Having won the game, Teresa, you can take the money that you won on today's show, plus the vacation to Paris, and say ta-ta to us. But if you want to try and win the car, you give that up. Not the money you won on the show, just give up the vacation and go for another win tomorrow. What do you say?
I'm going to go for another win tomorrow.
She's going to go for the car. She'll be back with us on our next show. And Teresa, we wish you all the best of luck. We'll see you then. And Teresa, thank you for being with us, and thank you to our other contestants. Here they are coming on the show. They were great too. And we thank you for watching us today on Split Second. Please watch us next time on Monty Hall saying bye-bye, everybody, and thank you for watching.
Split Second is a Stephen Haynes Monty Hall production.